Welcome everyone to Husky Expo 2023. We're coming at you live from the stage in the ballroom at the Husky Union Building. We have been waiting a long time for this event to come together, and we are here to make sure you get to see all the action happening today. I'm Griff, and I'm currently a freshman at the University of Washington, and I'll be one of your casters this morning.
And I'm Sunani, and I'm currently a junior at the University of Washington, and I'll be your other caster for the evening. Before we begin, we'd like to thank Razer and Seattle Built PCs for sponsoring this event. If you're in attendance at HuskyX, be sure to check out their tables.
And our esports programs seek to build and foster community, open doors to the vast career opportunities in the field of gaming, and promote the virtues of healthy competition. We hope you enjoy being a part of our community, and we invite you to get more involved.
If you're interested in participating in events just like this, casting or behind the scenes, follow us here on Twitch, as well as on our social channels at U of WA Esports, or join our UW Esports Discord. Additionally, we're excited to announce UW Esports is looking to hire student staff positions for the 2023-2024 school year. More details will be provided on all of our platforms, and if you have any questions, please visit our table. Lastly, UW Esports is hosting tryouts for the 2023-2024 school year. Overwatch, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant all have positions open. Sign up and come test out your skills.
So why don't we talk about these teams that are going to be facing off here today in the finals in a best-of-3 ARAM game? What do you think about Content Team and Challenger Flame?
Well, from what I know from playing with various members on both of these teams, I am looking forward to a good performance, specifically from a few players, given that there has been a little bit of tension between the two teams. I know Lian and Ninja Boomster have been a little at odds as of late, and hopefully they'll be able to settle it on the Howling Abyss today.
And what better way to settle any differences than just battling it out in an ARAM League of Legends game? One lane, no place to hide, few bushes to hide from your opponents. What do you think Challenger Flame is going to want to be doing this game, or if they're going to try to take away the victory?
I mean, I know there are a few champs here that Challenger Flame would be able to use very effectively. I'm excited to see if we manage to find an Aurelian Soul on this draft, because that champ generally does well in ARM, given that the lane is very small. Once a soul channels his Sky's Ascend, is able to build up all the Stardust, it is pretty hard to play against. So, looks like the teams are ready. Maybe see the draft starting soon.
I think we're going to hop right into the completely random draft.
Oh boy.
But I think both teams have one reset.
So, the Challenger Flames team, we have 4 Enchantresses along with a Nocturne. Oh, alright.
Then the game was immediately restarted.
Yeah, the draft has been remade here for Challenger Flame. I don't think they wanted to play with that draft, because 4 Enchantresses with a Nocturne is not exactly what we'd like to call fun and play.
I mean, you could have funneled the Nocturne. You helped the Nocturne put the Torrigar on, but now we have another team comp. Challenger Flame has a lot of melee champions, but they do have the Azir for the long-range poke.
Okay. Belbeth, Garen, Thresh, decent frontline. I mean, if whoever's getting the Belbeth, as long as they know how to pilot the champ, she does feel extremely hard with 2 items, so their team fight potential's pretty high. I mean, Azir simply going to HX99 Overlord here. He has played it a little bit on the Rift, so I'm excited to see how he pilots this game. The Renekton is interesting. I mean, it is nice to see Azir solely be. On the other hand, we have Orianna, Jarvan, Twisted Fate, Zeri, and Seraphine. Not gonna lie, the team fight potential is very high here. I mean, the Twisted Fate, of course, is built pure utility, given that the actual run numbers are not very high in Twisted Fate. However, the Jarvan is very nice to engage. He will get shut down by that Thresh, presumably, which isn't super exciting for him. But it looks like Content Team is very down to run this draft.
Yeah, it looks like this will be the teams we're playing with. And what I think is really interesting is that Content Team doesn't have any real way to kill that Azir besides that Jarvan. That Azir and Belveth have a lot of opportunities here just to get those massive amounts of damage in, especially if Thresh and Garen and Renekton can be playing this kind of frontline peel role effectively. There are no assassins, there are no dive champions on the side of Content Team. Well, I think champions like that Renekton and they pick potential with that Thresh can allow Challenger Flame to pick the Orianna, to pick the Zeri.
Yeah, it will. The Zir dying might be if he goes for really grand Shurima shuffle EQs a
Yeah.
little too aggressively, maybe he'll explode. Uh, to be fair, the ideal engage we're looking for from content team is a Jarvan EQ, maybe a snowball thrown in with an ulti trapping the Azir in.
Engage. That is a good
But the
engage.
problem is that if any peel comes out, the only real follow up is realistically going to be the Seraphine, with her ult. Otherwise, I mean the Orion ulti will probably only be stuck on the Jarvan, which will be we'll see, we'll see. It really will come down to how good Azir is at positioning. I think the game goes late. Vietnam Dragon does have uh fairly comfortable front and back here. I don't think
Mhm.
it's the only real engage. It's realistically the Azir. If unless Renekton decides to take Snowball Prowlers, commit a flash, maybe he could get all this
Or you
Azir.
could also
But
get a thresh hook going off, but I think that it's going to be a little difficult to land a thresh
yeah,
hook against only one melee champion over on the side of content team. Like Jarvan's going to be standing up there, but if you hook Jarvan, you're just going to get hit with an ultimate. He's going to engage on your team. I'm not sure if that's what you want. So I think a lot of this is going to rely on the thresh. Like how is he using the hook? How are they using the Flay to get Jarvan with the Oriana ball off of the carries on the side of Challenger Flame? And is that going to be realistic against the kind of wombo combo potential that content team has? They have the Seraphine ultimate, they have the Zeri ultimate, they have the Jarvan ultimating in with the Oriana ball. If that hits 3 or 4 members of Challenger Flame, what are they going to do against that sort of engage?
yeah. Also now thinking about it. I mean, it depends what champion is getting funneled kills. Realistically, Garen might be KSing a little with his ulti. But I mean, if Belveth and Azir are able to get gold, if Thresh is able to get enough KT, build up some money. It also depends if Thresh builds full tank versus support. Given that gold will be a
Mhm.
little fought for, given that they're like every champ is like moderately able to utilize gold except for Renekton. Renekton will just kind of be cocoed the entire time. Uh, I think the way the early game will play out is we'll be. I mean, if Challenger Flame is able to go for a super hard engage, there is an
Yeah.
opportunity to just completely ace them. Given that Zeri and Twisted early game are very lackluster and Oriana is not very strong either.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. It's gonna be an interesting game no matter what. Yeah.
okay, our spectator delay
Looks like
is
we're getting right into the game now. So ultimately, on each team, what champion do you think is going to be the defining point, the play around point for Challenger Flame and content team?
So I think for content team, we'll be looking at the Zeri. If she's able to get at least 5 or 6 kills before a reset, that would be really good for her.
Yeah.
Because also important for certain champs to hit their mythic item spikes. Zeri spikes better on 2 items, I would say.
Mhm.
But even hitting an early shield bow would be really nice. All right. Teams have hit the hex gates. We see Jarvan is opting for tank here.
Yeah.
With Guardian Sword and the Ruby Crystal. TF with assumably building Liandry's. I'm not sure if I agree with that. Oh, lucky for the gold coin.
Yeah, it looks like right now, content teams is going up and trying to gain control of the lane. They're going up there using their poke, using their ability, and Challenger Flame has a lot of melee champions. They have the Thresh, they have the Garen and Renekton, so it's going to be hard for them to really get out of their tower range against all the poke. So we're going to have to see how they want to play this early game. Are they going to just wait for the Thresh, look for the hook, or are they going to try to make something else happen, or just be okay with just getting minions and trying to let them not take the tower?
So a few things I want to note here are that on the Belveth we see a lethal tempo, which to be honest is not very good. The champ builds Clonker very quickly by hitting her Qs, so she will be sacking a lot of her early damage. I mean late game, she does build up very quickly with her E, but that is
Mhm.
like you definitely want some early damage on Belveth. Also the Azir with exhaust is kind of amusing. I feel like he's only really going to be able to use it on Jarvan, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the exhaust could be helpful here if the Azir is like going in for a shriek. Oh, it looks like the game has been paused for some reason. Maybe some technical issues going on. We will let you know as soon as we know what's happening and try to get back into the game right away. But for now, how do you think this game has started out when we're looking at the runes and looking at the summoner spells that each side has chosen? Like, look at Challenger Flame having 4 snowballs. They really want to go for that quick engage.
Really looking for a lot of follow-up. We might see some funny moments where there are 4 snowballs on the same target. Probably what might happen is Thresh engage. If Thresh hits a straight Q, Glacial Augment is proc. The snowballs are probably pretty easy to connect, and they'll look to collapse from there. Given that, also I'd like to know TF took Ghost Clarity, which is definitely
Not something you see a lot.
team player. Also looking at his mana, he's almost and there's only been one minion wave, which is kind of interesting.
Hey, that's where the clarity comes in. He thought of this. He knew he was going to be out of mana, took the clarity, is ready to go in there and just give himself mana and spread the love to the rest of his team. Adding mana. I don't know about you, but personally, running out of mana in ARAM is one of the least fun things that happens. Maybe it would be better to have the flash. Maybe it would be better to have the ignite or exhaust to get those kills or stop the big engage. But clarity lets you play the game. It lets you have the mana to do what you want to do. So I think that Acer Boy taking that might be the path he wanted to go, or maybe just so he can throw more cards.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the Ghost treats him, and also having no flash into so many melee champs looks pretty rough. Reading the chat, it seems like there's been some issues with the settings on the PCs. Um, so we are going to be in the middle of figuring that out.
Doesn't take too long. But I think another interesting thing to point out is that the Twisted Fate did go Dark Harvest. So with that Ghost and that Dark Harvest, they clearly want to run people down and go for those kills. Maybe also using the Ghost as a way to kite the Challenger Flames team, because Challenger Flame does not really have a lot of great chasing on you, sticking on you. Like, they had to go for the 4 snowballs because they need that if they're going to be able to stick on the Zeri, who's running away with the speed from their ultimate, the Seraphine, who could speed boost the entire team, or the Oriana, who also is a speed boost. So then you give the Ghost to the Twisted Fate. The only person you're going to be able to really catch out is a Jarvan, who's going to be tanky and really hard to kill.
Yeah,
so it's going to be difficult.
Looks like the players are ready. The game will resume. If the spectator...
It looks like we're going to get back into the game.
These 0 seconds feel a lot longer than 0 seconds, which is interesting. Well, I guess also something I'd like to note is the builds on the side of Challenger Flame, pretty interesting. We have 4 Guardian items. Oh, and we're back. So the problem that Red Side is going to be suffering is the fact that they have no real agency in the early game.
Absolutely. Thresh hits a hook. Oh my god, looks like that Jarvan is caught out. The Garen E is coming in. The Bento flashes away. Garen keeps gauging. Belveth is going to back off, and no kills are going to come out of the first Thresh hook, but Bento's going to be chunked pretty low.
Looks like Bento goofed the Q onto the flag, so he'll have to burn the flash in response. It was a good hook by Spaghetti Sauce there. Thresh Q should be coming back off cooldown soon, so they will be fishing again. Thresh specifically, his pick potential is pretty high with the Q, but his sticking on potential will become a lot stronger given around level 8 or 9 once he gets a few items and more points in the Q, lowering the base CD. Given that once he can execute, it lowers his cooldown by 2 seconds, which got nerfed recently, but should still be fairly strong in ARAM for what it is. And I mean, Belveth being pretty low isn't super fun. He doesn't really have much to stay in early game or mid game, given that minion healing is nerfed. So they just have to wait till level 6 for all, and once he gets ulti, getting the takedowns, proccing the shoulders on level 1 will regen a good chunk of HP, but we'll see what happens once they level 6, which should be...
Oh my god, the Belveth is going in at almost no hit points. It's going to get first blood over the Seraphine. It looks like the Renekton is going to fall as well as Spaghetti Sauce gets stunned by the gold card. And Garen is going to fall as well to the rampant auto attacks over on the side of Content Team. What an engage by Challenger Flame. A little bit ambitious, one could say, and it's now going to lead to a lot of damage on the tower. Except for the Belveth is going to come back in. Jarvan's going to EQ away, and it looks like no one else is going to fall for at least right now. Wow. What do we think of that fight?
That was really interesting.
That was something.
Does manage to hit a 3-man W. Looks like they wanted to hit resets, so they would be full HP for the level 6 fight. But the downside now is that once Oriana dies with those 3 kills, she will be a lot stronger. That ulti will be a lot... Unless she runs it back on the death there, I think that her follow-up is going to be pretty bad. I mean, she might be able to... Oh,
the Oriana ultimate comes out. The Jarvan EQ catches out the Garen. The Azir Shurima Shuffle takes the Seraphine in, but he's going to fall immediately. Jarvan ultimate's in, is almost dying. The Garen is going. The ultimate comes out, executing Jarvan, but he's going to fall as well. Renekton comes in, gets the stun, but is going to fall to Zeri.
giving more kills in another amazing trade over to Content Team, leaving the overall score of 8-1. Wow, what a fight. Once again, just incredible playmaking over on the side of Content Team, not letting Challenger Flame get anything really in return other than that one kill.
Really quickly talking about how that fight played out. The issue there is that there was not unilateral commitment from the side of the engaged. Uh, we do see the Jarvan ulti able to cage 2 with the Seraphine ulti following up and hitting 3. Along with the double E right afterwards. The CC chain is very potent at this point in the game without more tenacity. And it just looks like Challenger Flame is not quite comfortable with the way they need to play their team comp. And Content Team is punishing them pretty hard for it, getting a lot of kills in gold early game. Oriana sitting on 5 kills, and
5
Zeri sitting
kills.
on 2, which means that both of them will be definitely getting their mythic. We'll be seeing how this. I mean, the turret will probably not get taken down until another team fight happens and all 5 members die concurrently. Given that the Azir wave clear is decent enough, Zeri has to walk pretty close, and there's enough of a threat from their engaged that it makes it hard. But we'll see how the rest of this plays out.
Yeah, I really like what you said about kind of having a coherent team vision. As you can see, like when it comes to collecting health, moving together, Content Team, they know what they're doing. Their champions are working together, they have a plan, but it seems as though Challenger Flame just isn't coordinating well enough when it comes to these engages. It's pretty hard due to kind of the poke, and you hit a snowball, you want to go in, but how do you get your entire team back behind you when you don't have the CC to let that engage happen? Like when you snowball in, everyone needs to hit a snowball, and the Thresh Q comes out, silencing the Jarvan, but the Jarvan's able to walk away. Belveth tries to dive in, but the ultimate from Oriana comes in. The Jarvan ultimate comes down. Serena Shuffle pushes people back into the tower. Seraphine might fall, but Bento is too tanky. Renekton's going to fall as well, and Garen giving 2 kills over to the Oriana and to the Zeri. They're going under the tower. Thresh is trying to run away. He hits the hook at Bento, but they're going under the tier 2. The Flay's coming through. Bento's going to fall, accepting his fate under tower. The Zeri's walking under to try to get the reset as Belveth comes through, goes and kills the Seraphine, and it looks like the Oriana is in a place where she is not going to be able to die, and that she can execute herself to not give that gold over to Challenger Flame.
So
wow, what a fight.
It looks like the Thresh was able to take a lot of the kills there, given the last ability that he hit was a Flay. It was nice that Content Team was able to get a reset off of that. We see the Jack show on Jarvan, fairly interesting. Along with the Landry's and Oriana, which was to be expected. That fight was really nice there. The engage by Leon hitting 3-man with the Oriana ulti right after Raccoon Cobb tried to go for an engage with the QW, dashing out immediately after hitting it, but still in range of the ball. Fester taking the free reset here with a Twisted Fate ulti, which is pretty smart. Now he's able to buy, give no gold, which is pretty good. Looking at the items, I mean, it will be very heavily. Oh, no, the Q does not lead to anything. Azir going for a Ludens, full damage, makes sense. Garen looking for a Heartsteel, which I think is interesting. Belveth with a shield bow. Not, oh!
The Oriana ultimate comes out. It looks like Jarvan's going to EQ in, but Belveth is going to be able to dash away, and no one is going to fall from that engage. The Oriana ultimate going down is really good for Challenger Flame, but are they going to be able to capitalize on that? It's going to be difficult considering the items that Content Team has over there. They have the Mythic on the Zeri, they have the Mythic on the Oriana. A fight right now might not go in favor of Challenger Flame, even if the ultimates are down for Content Team.
Yeah, the Zero is pretty chunked, so I mean both of these fights he's been looking for a really big ultimate. Last fight he had 2 people. They took the flash from Seraphine. Jarvan just standing his ground, completely disrespecting with rescue, which is pretty amusing.
That's going to be a pretty big heal up for the Azir and for the Renekton. I mean, it's going to be difficult to see if we can have Azir staying back and staying out of the line of fire, but with the amount of engage that Content Team has, it's going to be a really hard thing to do.
Twist of Fate popping the ghost there to hit the gold card on Garen. A little bit of follow from Seraphine, but oh, the snowball backwards from Renekton. I'm not sure if that's quite what we were looking for.
I'm not sure, yeah, that summoner spell works that way, but you know, the players might know more than we do. Yeah, it just looks like Challenger Flame is just kind of getting chunked out here and just getting pushed under the tower. And yeah, they have the wave clear, but that tower is slowly taking some damage.
Yeah, the poke under tower.
ultimate comes out. Garen's pretty low. The Seraphine root comes out. Garen's probably going to fall to the Audreys. The Jarvan ultimate comes out. All of Challenger Flame is very low. The Renekton R comes out. Bento is taking tower shots, but kills the Renekton and gets away. The heal's coming through the Orianna flash, but there's a heal over onto the Thresh. Bento flashes after it, gets a triple kill. Is he going to fall? No, he survives, and the first tower is going to go over to Content Team. What a fight as Bento takes the execute.
So as we see Jarvan taking the free kill there,
Oh, no,
to reset. It was well played by Jarvan. He was able to EQ out there at the very end of that play. Heals off the health relic, which keeps him alive. Unfortunately, there was another big 3-man Orianna ulti, which swung the fight. Thresh did manage to buffer his Q before the CC came out, so he was able to connect with Seraphine. She burned Flash, but still died, which, all things considered, well played to Thresh. The gold lead is starting to stabilize around 4K, given that both teams are going to be collecting full CS, and both teams traded 3 kills off that fight, but it doesn't quite look like Challenger Flame is hitting the spikes that they want to on their champions that are supposed to carry these team fights. Bel'Veth is still pretty weak, especially with the shield rush instead of Kraken Slayer or a Bork. They're lacking a lot of damage overall, relying on the Garen ulti to kill one person.
Yeah.
But overall, the Azir won't be able to wipe too many people. Oh,
there's another fight going on. The Order ultimate, the Seraphine ultimate is going to charm 3 of them. Seraphine's going to get the kill in the Renekton, and they're just going to run them down. But the Azir turret might be enough to protect the rest of the team, but not the Garen. Bel'Veth, the Dark Harvest proc is going to come out, has almost no health and cannot get enraged to fight. So it looks like the Thresh is going to fall as well as the Azir and Bel'Veth. The 2 carries are forced to back up under tower because they just do not have the front line or the ability to go up there and do any damage over the Content Team.
So right now we see a very, very clear issue of front to back. The single Jarvan tanking has proven to be more effective and able to tank more damage than the Garen and Renekton are, which could be attributed to the shields coming from the Seraphine and the Orianna, or it could just be the fact that Jarvan's able to move around so much that he's able to interrupt a lot of the damaging abilities given from the backline on red side. But regardless, another fight going the way of blue side, 3 kills was very nice for them. Oh,
The Bel'Veth goes in. Is just going to fall quickly away, or maybe able to dash away. The Leandri's proc is going to finish him off as the Jarvan E, I think, actually gets that kill before Content Team backs away. I just think it seems like none of the carries are even able to walk up on the side of Challenger Flame, because if they do, they're going to get Orianna ultimated. They're going to get ultimated by Jarvan. And Thresh is going up there trying to make something happen. The Hooks is going to completely whiff, going into the bush. So it looks like we're not going to get a fight right now.
Flay and Shane both go wide. Jarvan blatantly disrespecting. She goes fishing yet again.
After that first hook, I was hopeful,
Yeah. I mean, early game he was connecting a lot of them, but now he's a little wide on these abilities. Twisted Fate did take the opportunity to execute yet again, opting to teleport straight to the Nexus. So how's it for you?
Oh, Thresh is going to hit the hook under tower. Renekton's going to go and stun the Jarvan, but the Seraphine ultimate is going to come out and just absolutely, completely destroy them. The Azir tower is doing damage, but it is just not enough. The Bel'Veth is able to escape, and all of Challenger Flame practically is able to escape on a sliver of health, but it is not looking great for them.
There was a little bit of anti-synergy there with the Seraphine ulti and the Orianna ulti. Seraphine channeling right as the Orianna ulti comes out. So managed to clip 2, but not quite able to 3.
The Shurima Shuffle tries to come in, but he's going to knock them away from the tower. The Bel'Veth comes in and hits out the W, but it's not going to do enough damage. The Thresh is going to fall to Twisted Fate. Zeri flashes under the Izzy tower and is going to fall. So is the Jarvan to the Garen ultimate, but it looks like Renekton and Garen are going to be trading back. The Renekton flash Q comes in, kills the Orianna, and is actually able to trade back for his death. You know what? I think Challenger Flame did what they could there. They did what they could.
Well, I will say the Azir EQing and then flashing in place was probably not how you wanted that engagement to work. Honestly, with that fight, Inhib being open, I would say this game is over. 7K gold lead. Clearly, Challenger Flame is not quite comfortable in the champs of the team comp they have.
Oh my god, dodging, sidestepping the snowball, the Thresh getting hit by the hook, the Lantern coming back. It looks like Garen is going to be able to pick up a Skirt Boy, get that kill. Oh, they're giving the shutdown over to Bel'Veth, which is pretty important, meaning that maybe Bel'Veth can come back and do something this game.
Bel'Veth picking up 860 gold on that kill, even though she flash W'd and then missed the W after the Thresh pull dragged in the Twisted Fate a little bit. I mean,
Shuffle comes in, hitting the Zeri back, but Zeri's just gonna be able to dash away. The Jarvan ultimate's gonna come in. Wombo combo with the Orianna art and the Seraphine art. Belvez is gonna run to the Lantern, but it's not gonna be enough. The Zeri speed is gonna kill them. That's a triple kill. And Thresh is just getting run down. How do you run away from a Zeri? How do you run away? Zeri is gonna keep coming. It's spaghetti sauce. Cannot get away. Content team gets the ace, gets the inhibitor, and quite possibly wins the game.
I think they're able to end off this push as long as they keep pushing. Renekton and Garen are coming up, but they can't really do much at this point in the game.
I mean, yeah, even when they come back, it just looks like Content Team is gonna run away with the first game in our series, even under the tower. The fights just aren't even close. They're doing way too much damage. Irvin is just too tanky.
Too much damage coming out from the Zeri and the Orianna at this point, along with a decent amount of layering coming on from Seraphine and Twisted Fate. You know, the front line is just not able to stack enough resistances. The Nexus is open. Azir going for an ulti, but...
Azir goes for the Trima Shuffle. It just doesn't do anything. It only hits the Jarvan. It takes no damage. Is just gonna fall to the Jarvan ultimate, giving Zeri a double kill. Bento is gonna be flayed under the Nexus Tower, but it doesn't matter, because that is game one over the Content Team. What a game.
Oh boy, I can't say that I would be super high morale after that game. It looked like it was just one-sided, not able to do much, not able to play the game. Your front line not able to scale, backline not able to do enough damage. I mean, we'll say the Emperor's Divide on Azir that game, they were not looking so hot.
I think they were going the wrong direction. Yeah. They were hitting the wrong players. I just want to note that in that game, the Seraphine did 3 times the damage of the Belveth.
Yeah.
And we had 3 players over on the side of Content Team hitting over that 20k damage mark. We just did not have that same kind of damage coming out from Challenger Flame. We just did not see it. We did not see the damage that we needed to see.
It was just a one-sided beatdown, not much they were able to do about it. So at this point, we will be waiting for the next lobby to be made. I will say that given that the way the comps played out, I know that Challenger Flame is able to pilot certain drafts, so I think at this point they're just hoping to get hoping to get a good support, hoping to get a good tank, you know, champs that are able to more literally slot into a role instead of having to play these bruisers into slotting into tank items. We'll see though. I mean, this is a best of 3, so this is technically match point. We're waiting to see. Sides have been swapped. Some people like to argue that. And also the stats like to argue that there is a higher win rate on the side of red team and ARAM.
That was it. That was the determining factor of that game. All right.
Which is interesting. Okay. Oh, this is a interesting draft. Another Belveth on the side of Challenger Flame. Jinx as a hyper carry is very nice. Viger also scales very well. Ivern is super strong in ARAM. A lot of people.
Challenger Flame is actually on this side.
Oh, sorry.
Because they got the side flop. Yeah.
Side switch.
Oh, looks like it's a remake anyway. So
drafted and dodged by Challenger Flame. Sorry, Content Team's draft with the Jinx was very strong. Ivern is very good. I think he actually has shield buffs, shielding buffs in ARAM, which personally I think is silly. You know, having his E on a 4-second cooldown, giving you a 500 shield is pretty disgusting. Okay, new draft coming out.
It does look like Content Team has basically no frontline if they choose to go for it, which may end up being an issue with like the Riven and Orin engage, wouldn't you say?
So they do have a Zillion and Ashe, which are able to kite very well, slowing the front line, speeding up their back line. The Milio and the Jhin is very interesting. I will say, Jhin is one of the signature champions of Leon, who is on Content Team on the right side. And so is the Ashe for a Skirt Boy. Both very nice champions. I assume that the Milio is on this is for Bento, given that he plays a lot of support. But we'll see what champions. I mean, if I were also to hazard a guess, Zillion and Vino, but I guess we'll find out. On the side for Challenger Flame, we have Ornn, Nico, Braum, Riven, Senna. The early game is pretty much completely reliant on Riven. Which I'm not super hopeful for. Also, seems like this draft will be going through. So
it does. And no dodges here. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But like, what I like about Challenger Flames draft here is I feel like this is a team that gives them a chance, right? This is they have the engage. They have the Braum who can stand there with his shield against the Ashe, against the Jhin. You know, I think that if they get that engaged, they get the Nico Aries, they get the Orin Aries, they get Senna fed, they get the Riven coming in there, they can make something happen. You know, I think this is their chance.
We'll see. The wombo combo opportunity with the Orn, Braum, Nico, Riven, snowballing, Wing,
Yeah.
Q3ing are all pretty high. But given how the last game went, I don't know if they're quite able to hit the 3-man, 4-man ultis. The pick potential is still high, given that Orn is able to eat onto terrain, Riven's still able to follow up, Nico's still able to follow up. The basic abilities are still pretty strong. But the issue is that while on paper, the draft of having like a solid front line, solid back line works out nicely for Challenger Flame. They are going to get harassed a lot early game against 5 range champions.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially given that JCQ for poke, Ash W's, Jin able to follow up with his own W's, zillion bombs. There's just so much they have to tank through. Even if the Ord Braum take the Guardian Horn early, I'm pretty sure they're going to get poked out. First turret might even get taken before a fight happens. But hopefully they'll be able to turn the tides once level 6 comes out. Uh, Honestly, this game I still have my money on content team. This draft is just so strong early game that I think they might be able to snowball a gold lead. But if Challenger Flame is able to hold on until the Orn starts building the Orn items, the Senna is able to stack some souls, Braum E along with his own resistances will become super tanky. I would say they have a chance to win at that point in the game, but they still have to deal with this Jin that has Emilio and the zillion buffs onto him. So at this point of the game, it's just we'll see how they pilot the early game. If they don't concede too much gold, maybe it's winnable.
So how many snowballs do we think were coming out over the side of Challenger Flame? How many of these champions do you think are going to take
Definitely
a
4.
snowball?
No way it's not 4. Definitely 4. Maybe even Senna will take
Yeah,
one.
I mean, I feel like if you're going to go 4, you might as well commit. Go all 5.
I mean,
right?
Snowball gives vision. You can check bushes with it.
That's true.
Uh,
You can use the backwards snowball strategy
Yeah,
we saw
exactly.
last game. We saw Renekton do it. Maybe we just haven't heard about that. I mean, ultimately, I think that a lot of snowballs is going to be necessary here to get around that poke, to get around the speed, the zillion, the ash, to get around the ability just to run away and slow you down. Is it going to be enough? I don't know, but I personally want to see content team using all 5 flashes start of the game. I want to see them doing ultimate bravery. I want to see them doing some fun builds. I think maybe as a sign that they can win no matter the odds, don't you?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the content part of content team will come out in this game as the spectator delay is winding down. 3 seconds left, and we will be hopping into game shortly.
Very excited for this one. I think no matter what, we're going to get a great game, and we're going to see some hard-fought action over here.
There's a lot of potential for really exciting team fights as long as Challenger Flame is able to line up the skill shots here. But we'll see. We'll see.
There certainly is. And also the late game potential when that Orange starts building up those mythic items, starts giving people those extra stats that are just built on top of what they already had. I mean, that could really make a lot happen, especially against a squishy team. You got a Riven who's just doing way more damage than they're supposed to be. You could just see that Ashe, you can see that Jin just disappear.
We'll see. I mean, Ashe is notoriously one of the most hated champions in ARAM at the moment, given that once she maxes W, there's just a barrage of arrows that covers half the lane, slows you, procs mandate, 3-second cooldown. Overall, just very obnoxious to play against. Also has the access to her ultimate. With the ultimate hunter, that will be coming down to like a good 3-4 seconds it'll be coming down to a good 20 seconds late game. With which each stack of ultimate hunter reducing by 3 or 4 seconds.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Ashe goes mandate in ARAM. Is that the main build?
Yeah, generally we'll see like mandate, maybe even moonstone if you want your team to sustain. Although I'd say with Milio you probably don't need that. Probably man immune too, maybe some anti-heal with the form of Kempunk Chainsword. But we'll see. I know that a Skirt Boy is a big fan of playing Ashe in ARAM. His arrows generally land, so we'll see how that plays out. The follow-up potential with an Ashe arrow was pretty nice with the Jin W and the Zillion being able to double bomb and slow. But I will say though that if Braum is there, Braum is serving as a shield. That E will nullify a lot of that engage. So it basically just comes down to how good the cohesiveness is on either team for follow-up for these engages.
Absolutely. And I think another important thing to note about Content Team is they have, I think, League's newest champion. Do you want to introduce that champion?
Milio is actually, on release, Milio was actually extremely obnoxious because he has the ability to both extend range on auto attacks and he has like a little campfire that all allies inside heal, and their auto attacks do have a burn, which overall makes him like decent for trading in lane. And as of right now, it seems like we're having a few technical issues.
Yeah, we will get into the
Yeah.
game as soon as possible. Until then, you
Oh.
can enjoy our lovely analysis
It
about the
looks-
teams.
It looks like we have a certified Riot client moment, given that all the teams disconnected immediately.
Difficulties, but now we are getting back into game 2 between Content Team and Challenger Flame. Are you excited?
I'm excited. We see 3 Dark Harvest here on the side of Content Team. Maybe they're playing a little bit for their own skilling. Senna disconnecting here. Maybe not what we want to see though.
Thought it was the end of the technical issues, but immediately getting something new.
Oh, and he's back. It's okay. We'll pretend nothing happened. Jin here, starting off with the serrated Dirk, assumably opting for an Eclipse or a similar lethality build. Just kind of interesting. Ash going like Andries, fair enough. 3 melee champs probably want to proc the burn on them. Orin looking for a Heart Steal. Nico going for a Guardian Orb early, which is kind of interesting. I would argue that you probably want your Mythic Spike early. But to be fair, I know that HX Undead Overlord does play quite a bit in Nico, so he probably knows a bit more than I do about Nico and ARAM. Senna going Guardian Blade, Braum with the Guardian Horn, as I was hoping for, and then Riven with the Guardian Blade is interesting. That does delay her item spike a bit unless she sells it.
Yeah, for the people who don't know ARAM very well, do you want to explain what the Guardian items are?
Yeah, so Guardian items are 950 gold items that are exclusive to ARAM. And in terms of like raw gold efficiency from their stats, they're actually way higher than any other item you can build in SR, Summoner's Rift, the normal game mode. Which means that generally a lot of champs like to build it first because it's so gold efficient. You get so many stats from it for how much you're paying for. So when you buy as a first item, you start the game with more stats than maybe someone build normally would. The downside though is that you are delaying building your mythic items, or like your first items really, that are worth more gold, give you unique effects, generally are stronger. So the trade-off here is really, can you live long enough to just buy your mythic item on the first recall? Maybe you sell your guardian item, but the reason why, another reason why guardian items are so strong, is because they do give you mythic passives. Every mythic item has a unique passive that building legendary items, so other completed items give additional stats. For example, Kraken Slayer with every legendary item you get bonus attack speed. I think it's 5%, something like that. And the guardian items do give that bonus, which is even more gold efficiency. But as I said earlier, it's just a trade-off of which one you get first. As we can see in early game, it's just Rich standing back, poking a little bit. The wave is pushed up, so they don't want to commit too hard on the tower because the chase potential is so high on the side of Challenger Flame. So it seems like the early game is pretty boring. Maybe level 6 we'll start seeing some fights.
I do think that it looks like Challenger Flame is like doing a pretty good job of keeping the gold relatively even at the start of the early game and not getting poked out. Like, yeah, their health bars are kind of dipping low, but for the amount of poke and the amount of ranged champions that Content Team has, I think they're doing an amazing job of not letting anything really like choke them out of the game or get so low that they aren't able to get that experience or there is a kill potential for Content Team. So I do think that it's looking like there might be a chance over here for Challenger Flame.
Yeah, what I will say is that, especially with the addition of the new bush on the bottom half of the rift that we can see that the Ash is hovering around with the Jin Trap, it does make it a lot harder to acquire like consistent bush control. The reason why bush control is so important is because you can't see like when a champion is casting an ability that could be important. Like for example, Nico E. If you don't have enough time to react to it, it snares you, collapse on instantly, and you die. On the side of for example, Content Team, they have the Ash constantly in the bush. She's able to throw out as many W's as she wants. You basically have to treat the entire bush as if Ash could be inside anywhere. And because you're respecting the range of the W, now you have to stay away W's range from the
Looks
bush.
like Braum is going to be getting rooted. The shield comes out and the snowball comes through, but Braum's going to be completely fine, just putting up that shield and not letting any of the ranged champions really do damage to him.
Yeah. The penalty comes out. Zillion Bomb tries to connect too.
It looks like there's an engage coming in. The Nico's gonna flash ultimate. Is not gonna hit any of them, but they flash away. The Zillion R is gonna come out. The Orin R as well. Zillion's actually not gonna fall. The R to get the health reset. Ash will get the first blood, and it looks like Content Team is gonna walk away ahead here. The Ash dropped the ghost. Maybe he's gonna try to follow up and get something else, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Challenger Flame try to make it engage, but that Nico R just doesn't connect.
So a few funny details right now. We do see Zillion is left on an absolute sliver of HP. Popped his own ulti, but wasn't able to get it activated and heal back to around half. So he is stuck being just sitting in the backline. The Nico ulti was not quite able to do the job it wanted. Nico ended up flash and then ulting, and given that there is a windup, it was too long for other teams to react. Oh, Braum
Looks like
gets the double.
Braum's gonna stumble in. The Nico's trying to run up here, but the heal's gonna come out and really do a lot over here for Content Team. The Zillion's getting to the point where it might be able to go stay in a fight, especially because Zillion doesn't need to be up there, doesn't need to be up front and personal. He'd just be giving those speed boosts, giving the experience boosts, ultimating for the team. So as soon as that Zillion R is back up, it's pretty safe for Zillion. Right now, it looks like Challenger Flame is getting pretty confident walking up despite their low health bars.
Oh, Ashley comes out, looking for an engage here. Oh, flash from
It looks
Senna.
like the Senna is going to flash away. It's going to be all okay for... Oh, the Nico is going to go in under tower and just die immediately, giving Jit the kill.
Looking for the reset. Guess his item is closer. He doesn't want to stay at his HP percent.
Absolutely. This game is just, once again, kind of starting out with Content Teams getting it boldly, not losing any of their members. We'll see if they're gonna, if Challenger Flame is gonna find a way to kill Vietnam Dragon and get that kill on the Zillion. Orin right now seems a little out of position. He's gonna go in and just fall immediately. And we can look over to the Senna, who's at basically no health over here, who's likely to die at any moment, just any sort of engage over from Content Team.
So as we can see, something of Challenger Flame is... Oh, and Senna opting to die to the Ash W instead of get ulti. I guess Leon probably isn't elated by that. They'll take the kills they can. But yeah, the problem that they're facing right now is that they are not staggering their recalls correctly. So the idea behind staggering your recalls or dying like in a way that one person dies, and by the time they respawn, someone else dies. So you're always keeping at least 4 people who are pretty healthy on the rift and able to defend your tower. The issue right now is that they're not quite staggering their recalls in a way that each champion is able to hit the item spike over. So like, the issue right now is that if they get poked out, they're not able to take the fights that they want. So what they want to do is they want to make it so that while they aren't getting kills, they're still getting the passive gold from the minions. Like both minions dying and taking the CS. So if they're able to gather enough gold from the minions without fighting, and then take a team fight where they all have full gold, full items, full HP, then maybe it's doable. The issue right now,
Orin ultimate, a lot of R's coming out. The Nico's gonna come and root the chase. The ultimate, but it's gonna get knocked away. It is not going to get anyone. It looks like Senna is at basically no health, and Riven is going to ultimate in, but no one has died so far. The Braum shield is coming and stopping any of the damage coming over on the side of Content Team. The Orin's gonna charge and not hit anyone. Braum's gonna be rooted, but it looks like the low health members of Challenger Flame are not really in any risk of dying right now because Content Team doesn't have that dive or have that way to kill those backline members if they just stay back. So that fight's not going to lead to any deaths, but it is going to lead to a lot of low health bars over on the side of Challenger Flame.
One thing I will say is that the Nico did have a pretty good idea, taking a snowball into Zillion to get a good angle to hit the Jace. Unfortunately, Jace not only E'd her backwards, but he got cleansed by the Milio ulti. Which made him able to channel the E in the first place when he was rooted. So overall, I mean, well executed on the side of Content Team.
That was a really important Jace knocking her back. I think that did a lot to stop it. And Zan's going to come up, try to poke with the bombs. Right now, the back and forth poke really isn't doing a whole lot. I think that Braum shield and Braum positioning himself to kind of defend over on the side of Challenger Flame is pretty important.
Also, I have just noticed that
Braum's gonna come in with the ultimate. They're gonna go away. The shield's coming out, but it looks like Braum is still gonna fall. The Jin ultimate drops, giving Bento the kill. Looks like Orin's still gonna be trying to shove the wave. The Jin ultimate's gonna slow him down. Ash is following him, running after. Riven's gonna dash in. The Zilly ultimate's going to come out. It looks like Riven is trying to escape. Gonna snowball. Are they gonna go back in? Ninja Booster is going to fall to the Zillion. Spaghetti Sauce goes in, but isn't gonna have the damage to kill anyone. And Challenger Flame is going to fall the Content Team pretty decisively.
Oh, the fall combo.
And that bomb is just gonna finish off the Nico. Nothing you can there. What a fight.
Jin W into JCQ into Zillion and Bomb. Pretty brutal follow-up. I also will note, I just noticed that it is Bento and Jin instead of Leon.
I think Bento is gonna fall here. Maybe a Skirt Boy in the Ash too, as the Orin is going to get another shutdown. It does look like Vino is going to die as well. Basically, all of Content Team getting run down with their only remaining members being really low on health. But they have a lot of gold to spend, don't they?
Yeah, those recalls were nice. Jin having 2 full items from that death, the Collector and the Eclipse. Aurelio's coming on Milio. gives them their ability to disengage. Popping is getting the team-wide move speed.
And Riven just going to go under tower and is actually going to be able to pick up 2 kills there, getting the shutdown on the Zillion. That is pretty big, but it does look like Bento is going to be able to get the shutdown under tower. Spaghetti Sauce is just going to get stunned under tower as well, giving the kill over to Ash. It looks like actually it's going to go over to the Jin. That is a lot of gold over to Bento. That is a lot of gold.
More gold on the carries, as we can see. We do have a 1.6k gold lead on the side of Content Team, which, while it doesn't look large, in ARAM, kill gold is almost halved, going from 300 to 180. And given that you only have 1 lane to farm minions and 1 turret to get gold from, this is actually a pretty sizable lead for ARAM standards. You know, especially given that the supports on both teams will probably have roughly the same gold, so that means that, you know, this gold difference is probably going to be on the carries. So in this case, the Jin having almost 2k gold over a Senna is pretty nice. Especially only 10 minutes into the game, when people haven't died as much, turrets haven't fallen. So another fight breaking out.
Looks like the fight, the Jin ultimate's going to come out. Orin is almost dead, is going to try to back off. It looks like nothing's really going to happen here, except for a Content Team just being able to walk up.
Ashfish is going to run ulti, manages it to Nico. Or not the...
Zobo's gonna land, Jason's gonna go under, kill Raincorp. It's a big fight under tower, but it looks like the Zillion R is going to come out. Really, Liam be able to escape. He flashes on, he's gonna give the bomb, kill over to the Zillion, but he is then gonna fall under tower. What an amazing 2-for-1 dive under tower. Orin is gonna try to use the unstoppable to get away, but Bentos is gonna pick up the kill with that Jin execute damage. Wow.
So at this point in the game, we're starting to see that Jin is pretty strong with these 2 items. I mean, honestly, Jin is just always going to be an issue this game with Eclipse, with the lethality build, as long as the tanks aren't able to accrue enough resistances. I would say once Orin gets maybe two armor items, Jin's damage is going to be severely mitigated, especially with the lethality build. But it is also a question of, does it get to that point in the game? Oh, we can see that the Brahmi is now able to fully block damage from the JCQ, which is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that, like, Jin going lethality means that he is not going to do that much damage to Ninja Boomster. He's not going to do that much damage to the Orin or the Braum. So, Jin is going to have to look for those angles to kill the carries, but a lot of the carries, the Riven and the Nico, they need to get up close and personal. They need to be within the Jin's auto attack range. Looks like little fights coming out. The Orin ultimate is going to come through. The Zillion is going to ult on himself and almost fall. He's going to walk in trying to get that health reset and is going to end up dying. Nico's at almost no health, trying to make a play with the bushes. The ultimate comes through. The flash is going to hit 3 members over on the side of Content Team. The Riven's going to dash in. The heal is going to come in and is going to survive, giving Orin the shutdown. The Ash is going to flash back in. Orin is going to try to charge, but the pillar's not going to come up in time. Senna and Riven are at almost no health. Ash has tried to lose the Yantries to get the damage, but it just isn't enough. And Challenger Flame is going to win their first team fight of possibly the series as the Riven goes under tower. The fight is not over yet. Challenger Flame is at almost no health, but still wants the kills. Thirsty, and it looks like they're all going to die under tower, but Senna is going to be able to pick up the kill on Ash.
So,
wow, what a fight.
It is nice that they're able to convert the tower into a few more kills when they wanted to reset, which works out pretty nicely. This is actually the first tower of the game. Which honestly I'm actually surprised about. I thought that Challenger Flame would be able to only get a turret after the first set. Oh, Nico here dying a little prematurely, but that's okay.
A little premature.
That fight also was pretty nice. Nico was able to charge up the ulti and flash right before the bubble landed, the pop blossom landed. So because of that, they're able to follow up very nicely. It was a 3-man Nico ulti, and they win the fight. Oh, Ash Arrow coming in. Riven stun. Fob coming out. Oh, and at this point, the front line is actually able to block a lot of the damage.
Doesn't look like a whole lot's going on, just a poke coming out, but the Braum shield and the Orin tankiness is able to kind of block that. And what do you say that fight that just happened was kind of maybe not the best thing in the world for Challenger Flame, but kind of exactly what they would need in order to have a chance at this game, right?
That is how I think they want their fights to play out. They definitely want an opportunity to play more segmented and play more for Wombo. The Braum!
Oh, the Braum and Orin ultimate are a little ambitious. The snowball is going to come through. Zillion is actually going to get shut down, surprisingly enough, and there might not even be a kill traded back. The Braum is going to die to the Jin, that execute damage. Riven is going in. The Orin's going to come in too and just die straight away to the Jace. It looks like Ash with the Ghost is going to manage to dodge and get out of the way of the Nico R, especially with that cleanse coming in. And now the entirety of Challenger Flame is just getting run down. That is not how Challenger Flame wants their fights to go.
Okay, well, we spoke a little too soon. Given
A little
that
too soon.
the Ghost on the Ashe and the Jhin just makes it so hard to follow up. We do see the Orn ulti connect and pick the Zillion, which is pretty nice.
Attempted execute.
Unfortunately, it wasn't able to hit more members. We do see content team trying to take their free death here. Braum doing just too much damage, truly. Oh, and Orn gets the gold here, which is nice. Orn is more effectively able to use stacks, given that his passive is able to just sort of boost the values of resistances that he builds. But we can say the issue of these team fights is that the move speed from both the acceleration gate from Jace on Z and the Milio ulti makes it super hard to instant collapse on them, along with the Shirley's on Milio. Too much move speed just makes it too easy to kite, but we do see another turret push out it, walking up kind of far, but now they're respecting everyone on content team recalling and coming back to their lane.
Yeah, it does look like Challenger Flame has just been looking for these fights over and over again, just like not letting any rest over on the side of content team, and maybe they need to let content team have the rest. Maybe they need to like let them farm up, have the Orin get to a high enough level to create more like powered up mythic items. But it's kind of difficult considering the poke over on the side of content team, you know.
I will say at this point in the game, the Jhin ulti has lost a lot of its effectiveness. If we could actually look at the builds, it does look like the damage is going to fall off a little harder. Well, Jhin is starting to pivot to crit, which is nice.
Flash Art comes through, hits no one.
I'm not sure if Braum is connected with an ultimate yet this game, but Jhin has actually pivoted back into crit with the LDR and assumably.
Oh, the Orin ultimate's going to come out. The Orin's going to hit the Jhin. The Riven's diving onto the Jhin. The ultimate from Zillion is going to come out, but it doesn't look like Jin's even going to fall to get the health reset. Riven gets rooted, but also does not look like they're going to fall either. The tankiness over on the side of Challenger Flame is really coming out, but it looks like the Riven might be caught out a little here. Sidestop the ultimate. The Nico comes in. They're on the Zillion. Nico's going to die, but the Zillion, who's very important to the team, is going to fall as well.
So there we can see that.
Oh, yeah, the flash comes in from the Riven. The Q coming in. It's a double kill for the Riven. Will they be able to escape? The entire team of Challenger Flame is just on top of content team. They're going under the tower. The Braum 2 comes out, and wow, what an engage from Spaghetti Sauce.
So the Riven did have a good idea there with the flashing from the bush, able to gap close onto the Jhin when you weren't expecting it. Milio does die under the turret here, and it looks like they're fishing for.
Oh yeah, it looks like they're going. The Riven looks like he's gonna die. They're shut down over towards the Jace. Leon is probably gonna be able to get away because Challenger Flame doesn't have damage anymore. In fact, Ninja Boomster might be dead here.
The Q connecting and then immediately flashing was a good way to gap close. Looks like Ninja Orn is not able to follow up here. Braum also trying to hit his Q, but the Eclipse value is a little high here. I will say that also
the snowball shutdown.
The Zillion getting hit. Oh, Ashe Arrow connects. Looks like the Nico is dead here.
The Jhin is gonna come out and just get that kill out on the Nico. Would you say it's a fair assessment that right there, Challenger Flame, they had a winning fight and just got too greedy?
It was a good fight. I will say the Orn flashing to follow up with the Riven was a little ambitious, given that there was no terrain to E into. That was in range, and the move speed from Milio made it really hard to keep following up. Oh, Riven does connect.
Riven's going to go in for the 1v4. Gorekicker's going to come out. The Orin ultimate's going to come in, possibly catching out the Jhin, actually, but the Zillion ultimate's going to come out, but Jin's not in a great space, right against the wall for an Orin knockup, and the Jhin is going to fall, giving Riven the shutdown. You know, I think Spaghetti Sauce has been incredible this game. It might be the win con over on the side of Challenger Flame.
Yeah, the combo here where we have the Orn knockup right into the Riven stun the Orn R2 connecting into the Riven, either snowballing into a W or just a Q3 into another Orn E. It's actually pretty effective for laying CC, especially on the squishy targets. The Zillion ulti is popped, but doesn't quite save him given that he's still in the middle of enemy lines. I will say the Braum ulti there, the timing there was a little off. Revives do last a little longer than, say, Stopwatch, which most people are pretty accustomed to timing for. Riven looking to die here.
Yeah, Riven I think wants to reset. But that is going to mean that possibly other members are going to fall, because without the Riven, it's kind of easy for content team just to run in. The Ashe is going to flash W, trying to sled on the Orin, but I don't think it's really going to do enough to catch out that Orin. So it looks like it's just going to be 2 kills.
Able to block the rest of the W. Ulti also comes out, but I mean, it is an Orn with a Warmog, so he's not going to be particularly phased by that engage. Unless he walks up again and offs it.
The Nico is going to go in, is only going to hit the Jace. The Root's going to completely miss. The Orin's going to dive in, but right now it just looks like that's 2 more free kills over to the side of Content Team. And that means that when the time that Riven and the Braum come back, they aren't going to have the support they need to really make a play. So Riven's going to look for a 1v5 angle here.
Oh, ulti connects on Raccoon Cub. Oh. Double bomb comes out.
Another Braum ultimate that just does not do anything. Is Riven going to take the snowball? That's the question. Going to go in. Riven's looking like they want to play it a little safer as Braum's probably going to fall. Oh, and dies to the flash. Riven's going to go in. It's a 1v5 situation. Does manage to proc the Zilean ultimate, gets a stun, is going to Q in, but it just won't be enough damage with no backup coming, and the Riven's going to die. That was just a staggered team fight over on the side of Challenger Flame.
Jin decides to run in a circle and completely throws off the Nico. Does get connected by the Ether and does.
Orin is going to pick up the Ashe, but is then going to fall. So it does look like the Ashe and Jin are going to die, but you know what they're going to be able to do when they're dead? Spend their money. Senna's going to come in, going to get the kill, but also just giving the champions over the side of Content Team a chance to spend the amount of money they have. When over on the side of Challenger Flame, they're dying without a whole lot in the bank.
Lian being level 18, 2 levels up on this Nico is an indicator of just how much EXP he has.
Lian is going to flash in and kill the Nico despite getting hit by the Root. Is going to get hit by the tower shot and fall to the Braum. And it looks like Zilean will probably die here as well to the Riven, giving more gold over to the Riven, who may very well be the carry on the side of Challenger Flame.
497 gold coming from a Gore Drinker on a Riven. That was probably the most value I've seen from a single target, just from a single use ability, which was pretty amusing. I will say though that at this point, the Jace having 4 items at this point makes him pretty strong compared to the rest of the team. I think he is pretty close to the 5th item, but opts to keep the Guardian's Blade in favor of something over, say, a Serrated Dirk. Zilean also opting for full AP is pretty interesting. That means the bomb will hurt. Oh,
Riven is going to go in, is going after the Jin, but the speed that they have with the support items in the Ghost means that Riven's not really getting able to gauge. Is going to Q in. The Orin ultimate is going to come out. Bento is going to fall. That is a lot of damage over on the side of Content Team that's not there. The Orin is going in, and Orin is just not taking damage. The front line, but Spaghetti Sauce does not really have the health for an active engage, and all the Content Team is doing is staying under their tower. So it might not be the case that Challenger Flame can push this any further. Riven is going for it under tower. The Q comes in, going to be able to stay alive a little longer with the shield, but not do anything. The tower is going to fall. Braum blocks the Ashe ultimate. The Senna ult comes out, but they are just dying. The Nico ultimate comes out, is going to be able to get a kill, but it looks like almost all of Challenger Flame is going to fall. Content Team is only going to lose 2 of their members, meaning that they may be able to take down a Nexus tower or 2.
I will say that Nico ulti connecting on Zilean almost one-shot him, which was pretty impressive damage, and it looks like Content Team is going to be looking to take some resets.
Well, they are going to get the executes off.
Executes here, which is very nice. I would say that Challenger Flame is starting to approach a point in the game where the gold deficit isn't as bad as simple. Like they can surmount it based on their gameplay, but they really just need to lock down this Nico ulti hitting around the same time as the Orin ulti. If they can't do that, then these fights are looking really rough.
I feel as though, and correct me if you think differently, that like Challenger Flame has a very real chance right now in the game. Like if they play well and they play coherent, it feels like that there isn't a lot that Content Team could do against a strong engage.
So what they can do is if they can bait out the Millia ulti. If the Millia ulti comes out and doesn't get enough value, that is where they're able to get their full pick potential. Until then, you know, they're able to cleanse any CC, which interrupts the follow-up chain. And also, I will note that fight, the Jin did die because the spacing was a little lacking. He did cancel an auto attack, tried to cast another one at that point. We're able to collapse. Okay.
The Orin ultimate's going to come out, but just hit the Jin. The flash is going to come. The flash Braum Orin is going to connect. A big Braum ultimate. Jin is going to resurrect the Zilean ultimate, but will he be able to escape? The Ashe arrow comes out to the Senna. In the backline, Spaghetti Sauce almost stays alive with the Gore Drinker, but it's not going to be enough. Jace is going to dive in, but Jin and Jace are going to die. The double kill is going to come out, but it looks like Jace coming into the background. We can see the Orin is about to fall. It's not going to be enough.
Honestly, that fight was actually pretty well played. It was a really good idea. to aim the Orin ulti onto the Jin who was in the middle of casting ultimate. Oh, Nico Flash was a little.
The flash doesn't quite connect, but it does bait out the Zillionaire. So
Electrocute almost taking him, but unfortunately Zillion does actually live, which is not what he wanted. Right when he popped his ulti in response to the auto attack there. That fight was pretty good. I mean, Riven was able to snowball into 3 people. Unfortunately, the Jace is just so strong that the Riven is instantly punished for going in. And I think that both the Ashe and Zillion want to die here, so we'll see who they die to. Zillion executes.
I think as Riven cleans up the Ashe here pretty easily, just standing there. Look at the BM.
No, Riven is actually delaying the Ashe recall. Doing that. So because of that, they have to wait a little bit longer for the Ashe to be there. At this stage of the game, she's mostly there for her ulti more than anything else. But it is still it's still a good thought. I'm impressed by that.
That is
a smart play.
Very impressive. You know, I think one of the main issues the last fight over in the side of Challenger Flame is that the Braum ultimate and the Orin ultimate only hit one member of the entire content team. They hit the Jin, and yes, they hit the Jin, but because of the Zillionaire and because of the Jin's kind of mobility, like taking down that one member cost them so many resources that by the time they killed that Jin, they didn't really have the ability to like continue the fight.
Okay, we're approaching the end here. Quickly noting the build before our next team fight breaks out. Also, this is turbo late game, so actually any team could win based on these team fights.
Yeah, it looks like the Senna R is going to come out. Same with the Orin R. And yes, it's going to hit them under tower. The Riven is going to go under tower. The Zillion R is going to come out. The Nico R is going to hit the Ashe and the Jace. And it looks like this could be either team's fight. But it does look like Challenger Flame is going to lose a lot of their members. The Jace is going to dive in. Nico is going to fall. You have a triple kill over to the Jin.
Well, the fight was looking good with the double Nico R, but they weren't quite able to follow up with the Senna damage. Also, there was a little bit of typing in chat with Escort Boy asking if Senna was building Bloodthirster, given the BF sword being our last item, which is fair because he is actually pretty well known for playing Senna in fairly high elo. This is that is a champ that he first started playing, so it is kind of funny to see him trying to critique Kunkov's build.
It looks like Challenger Flame is going to be up just in time to save their Nexus towers. So we'll see if they're able, how much damage on these towers they're able to get. The Orin is going to dive in. Jace is under tower, going for the setup. Is able to get the kill before falling. Look at that damage. And the Zillion's probably going to be able to run away here with his speed boost.
Leon is showing what Jace from Arcane damage is like. Absolutely nuking the Senna off the planet. I was going to say that Challenger Flame has an opportunity to end the game if they're able to ace and just sprint to the Nexus, but unfortunately the Ashe slow, along with the fact that Senna did die in the 1-for-1, who Jace wanted to reset, means that we will be seeing another team fight being played at the red side Nexus.
The front line of Challenger Flame are doing a great job engaging. Peeling, maybe not so much, but I think it's also kind of hard to peel against the Jace. He's just that fed and kills the Senna.
Jace hits a snowball, someone's probably dead at that point. Orin is taking a lot of damage, but he does have the Warmogs, he'll be healing it back up. So at this point, it is just, can we see another good engage? If the Orin hits an ulti, the Nico hits at least 2 people, and the Jace dies early, I think this fight can go the way of blue side.
Jace should be the target.
I think the Jace
not the Ashe, not the Jin. You think it's the Jace?
Not. I don't think the Jin damage is super relevant at this point in the game for the tanks. Jin is known for being the exact opposite of a tank buster, actually.
Well, I think Jace agreed with you here, as we can see, getting that shield to maybe protect himself against the one engage of the Orin ultimate, against the Nico route, against anything that could get him picked out.
The Azure Knight, along with the Milio, makes it really hard for them to pick onto the Jace. However, if the rest of his team dies and it's only the Jace, still will go in the way of the figure of
it's another option, you know.
The Axiom Arc on Jin, along with the Navori, is definitely a thought. Oh, Orin ulti comes out.
The Orin ultimate is going to come out. It's going to hit. There's going to be a ghost coming out. It looks like right now Challenger Flame is just pushing in. They don't have the Orin ultimate anymore, though, so it may be a little bit difficult to make an engage happen.
Well, the Jin jump shipped almost immediately. Maybe the Axiom Arc will let him ulti again, but we'll see. I will say Navoria on Jin is definitely not going to help him kill the Orin anytime soon.
That's true.
So we will definitely be relying on the Jace a little bit more.
Yeah, what exactly you do to kill the Orin here is a little tough. Like, yeah, you have the Leandre's damage from the Ashe, but that's not really even that much. Like, killing the Orin here is just a really difficult task. That is one big boy.
To be fair, I don't think he's layered that much resistances. I don't see a Gargoyle. I don't see a Jack Show, which means that while he does have a lot of HP, the actual damage he will be taking is pretty high. We're waiting for the cooldowns, basically, just waiting for the Aura ulti to come back up, waiting for the Nico ulti. Gen ulti back out, but they know that there is no Aura ulti to punish, so they're just using it right now.
The
Okay.
the Ashe R is going to come out. The Orin's going to use the Unstoppable to try to get away, but Orin is actually taking a lot of damage. Orin is not very healthy right now. It looks like the speed, just the move speed over on the side of Content Team might let them run him down. But Orin's just going to back up and try to get that Warmog ceiling like you've been talking about. Like, there's no real way to poke someone out if they have Warmogs.
Riven not spotted with the W, but the E does come out, gives vision when placing, which means that he knows the Riven is there.
This is going to be the defining fight. We can see the Orin ultimate's going to come out. It's not really going to connect with anyone but the Jhin. The Senna R is going to come out too. Riven is not going to connect with the Snowball, so Challenger Flame is might have to back out again. But the fight's continuing. Brahm's going to walk up, hit the ultimate on 2 members. That might actually be incredibly useful, but all that Content Team's going to do is walk backwards, and Challenger Flame can't really do much without like the Riven Snowball follow-up.
At this point, the annoyance of Milio has become a little more present. The Shrillian move speed, the Jace E, the Zillion E's becomes really hard to get away or get in range of them. We do see Ashe is able to check.
Oh my god, Promise is killed by the 4th shot of Jhin instantly! What is that damage?
2,000 damage on the execute from the bullet. Pretty potent. You know, I would say that if he didn't have the Navori, it would do a little more damage. But, you know, he does get the W more often. So I guess it could be worse. To be fair, it is just an issue of not having a Randuin's being able to mitigate crit damage. Ashe is reaching the turbo late game stage where arrows are...
Okay, the Senna is just going to fall under tower. They're going in. It's going to knock the Riven back into the team. Will the Riven be able to do anything? It doesn't look like it. The Nico R is going to come out, almost completely one-shot the Myla, but the Zillion R is there, and Orin does not have enough health, and Challenger Flame does not have enough members on their team left to fight. So, Content Team is going to take down this game and take down the match 2-0.
That looks like the end of the game. I mean, at this point in the game, when Ashe is able to have her ulti on a 15-second cooldown, every single one is lethal. Every single one can lead to absolutely destructive follow-up. So it seems like that is it. The damage, I mean, we can see what team was able to beat on the other, especially given that tanks are able to soak so much damage. But I mean, if we look at the builds, Orin has too much HP. It's no Randuin's, no Frozen Heart, no raw armor, not good enough. Same with the Braum, the Fimbulwinter, the Force of Nature, the Thornmail. I mean, it's just not enough. Not enough resistances for this Jhin. Even though, you know, even though this damage like wasn't the best build for it, still enough damage. Come out from the rest of the crit build. So
I think it was a great series, and I think in the end, the last game was really close. I think whoever won that last team fight was going to win the game. I think we started out on the nexus of Content Team. They were there, they were being pushed back, but they managed to make that comeback. They managed to get that pick on the Braum. Braum just overestimated how tanky he was because he had a lot of these support items and didn't have the resistances that he needed. And so when he fell, it was just a 4v5, and then without those two frontline champions, it was just too difficult to deal with the move speed. And I think it's really funny that I think the MVP of the match personally is the Zillion, who actually had the highest damage in the entire match at almost 80k, while also just being an incredible support tool.
also, just overall, very effective util. It was a 31-minute game, so honestly, after the 20th minute mark, could have gone the side of Challenger Flame, but unfortunately, that is just not how the cards fell.
Okay, well, congrats to Content Team, and thank you so much for joining us at our live HuskyX event, and thank you for WGA for hosting us. Remember to check us out at U of WA Esports on most platforms, Twitter and YouTube, and join the Discord if you are interested in opportunities like this, and check out our table if you have any questions.
A quick reminder, all our teams, Overwatch, Rocket League, and Valorant, are having tryouts. Make sure to register by June 2nd, admin positions such as player coordinator, broadcaster,